Well, it appears I have a little bit of catching up to do, so we're going to cram a whole lot of stuff into one episode, so let's get into it. We're talking green and white scrimmage, Elijah Moore injury, Denzel Mims getting food poisoning, Zach Wilson woes, and what do I think of the first episode of One Jets Drive? Jets, Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I don't have COVID. I'm just not feeling 100% great. Basically, since the green and white scrimmage, I have been so sick. And I'm finally feeling good enough to make you guys a video. So we're going to kind of get into it, catch some stuff up. Tuesday, we are going to be doing our Talkin Jets panel, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And tomorrow, I will be live 9 o'clock to, I think, 10 o'clock with the Entertainah talking sports, Chris, over, Giants. We got Jets-Giants coming up this week, so pretty exciting stuff to get into there. But let's jump into it. We'll go, notch by notch, kind of knock all this stuff out. If I think of something and I got to go back, I'm sorry, sick brain. But, all right, green and white scrimmage this past week was really cool. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. Originally I had a rafting trip, and then I realized that I scheduled something for work on that same day, and it just threw me for a loop. But luckily it went faster, and I was able to get down there right as practice was starting at 7 o'clock. And I got to meet my good buddies Matt O'Leary and Ali from Loyal NY Jet Fans. So that was really cool, along with a bunch of other people that came up to us. That was a lot of fun. Really good time. It was good finally seeing all the fans in the stands, and you hear the JETS chants and everything like that. Now, we didn't get to see the really long passes that I was hoping to see out of Zach Wilson to Elijah Moore and all this good stuff. It was really highlighted by a lot of really good defensive performances. Would I say I'm concerned with what I saw out of the green and white scrimmage? Not really. Just wish I would have seen the wow plays. Come on, wow me. I haven't been in the stadium for a year and a half, 2 years. Other than that, really cool, really, really good stuff there. Then we're talking Denzel Mims and why people have been kind of down on him and why he might not be quite so down as you may think. So, depth chart gets released, looking like he's going to be just fine. Now, it also lists Elijah Moore not as a starter. We expect him to start, so this is going to change a whole lot throughout the entire, preseason as we roll through this whole thing. But Denzel Mims apparently had food poisoning back, was it training camp, I guess? He lost like 20 pounds. The guy was down to, I think it was 195 or 197 or something like that, which for someone his size is just insane because I'm not a tall guy, and, well, I'm not 190, but I'm getting close. Becca's not happy. I got to start working out. So Denzel Mims getting the food poisoning, losing 20 pounds, not feeling whole that great. And then also we heard from Robert Saleh that they're spreading out guys across, even amounts of reps across first team, second team. So they're kind of getting a feel for everyone. Zach's getting a feel for all his wide receivers. I'm not concerned. Mims made some really cool catches in warm-ups of the green and white scrimmage that I was really impressed with. So I don't really see the concern so much, but I'm looking forward to this. I think watching him come, what is it? Today's Thursday? Saturday. Jets. He's going to be one of the players on the offensive side, along with Zach Wilson, that I'm going to be keeping a really close eye on this week. Then we're talking Elijah Moore today. I'm reading reports, and he has a quad injury. He's going to have an MRI on his quad. It doesn't seem like it's that serious from what I'm sort of reading on Twitter and through Jets forums and things like that. Again, not a whole lot of information just yet. Guys are scared because, look, Elijah Moore's our stud. This is our star from training camp that we're so looking forward to seeing on display. And because of this injury, we're likely not going to get him against the Giants on Saturday. More than likely, we're not going to get that. And this is something that you don't want to linger because guys with that quick, fast twitch, muscle fiber where they're cutting real fast, those quad injuries tend to linger. Quads and hamstrings. I, as a former sprinter, I understand why this could be a concern. And hopefully it's a very minimal thing and you only have him out for a few days and he can get ready and hit the ground running for the second preseason game. We heard a lot of news around Elijah Moore. This has been really cool to see. Odell Beckham Jr. comes out, thinks this guy's going to be a rock star. A.J. Brown's going to bet his game checks that he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year, which, let's go. Jeez, sorry. Forget my audience here. Let's go. No, if he can get offensive rookie of the year, your boy put $25 on him back what is it, 2 months ago now, and I can win $1,000. Let's do it. Come on, Elijah Moore, I'm pulling for you. I know the rest of the Jets fans are pulling for you. So that would be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm not concerned with Elijah Moore yet. If something major comes out, then, obviously hit the panic button. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's anything to be too concerned of. Then we're talking about how everyone is losing their mind a little bit over this whole Zach Wilson not performing well in a few practices. And I'll admit, when I went to the green and white scrimmage, my very close friend, who happens to be a Giant fan, still came with me, was like, man, that was really not very impressive from Zach. And I was like, no, please, don't get me thinking like this. And I agreed. Look, he didn't look that good in the green and white scrimmage. And I will say this, the way the ball flies off Zach Wilson's hand is so much different than Sam Darnold. It launches out. This guy's got a friggin' cannon for an arm. And watching his warm-up area parts where he's bombing balls down to guys, the placement was there. So I don't think it's really a real big deal, but there were plays during the green and white scrimmage where it was okay, he would have been sacked there. He held onto the ball too long. And you want to see him not do that, and you want to see him have more touchdowns and not a ton of interceptions in practice. But like our buddy O'Leary was saying, Zach Wilson came out and said that he is trying to throw things and figure out what he can and can't do in practice. So that way he doesn't replicate that in a game, which I can totally understand that. And that is probably one of the best answers I have ever heard to a poor practice kind of skid. So, Zach Wilson, you are handling the media phenomenally well, and I'm not worried about you because clearly a ton of people across all of sports media were really high on this guy coming out in the combine, so I'm not panicking at this point. I mean, look, I thought Josh Allen was a bust and going to be horrible through 2 years of his career, and then last year he just makes me eat crow. The guy's a top 5 quarterback now, and he's got a massive contract, which I hope one day we can give Zach Wilson as well. So don't be concerned about Zach Wilson yet. Give him 3 years. We'll figure it out. Not concerned at this point. In training camp, we haven't even had our first live action yet. All right, now that we've kind of gone through all that, I want to talk a little bit about the One Jets Drive episode that came out yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it was. The first episode of One Jets Drive, really good. I would assume anyone who's watching this video on YouTube or Facebook probably does watch the One Jets Drive videos, so I might be, not surprising you with any of this stuff, but if you haven't watched it, seriously, go over to the Jets YouTube page and watch this series. The Jets media department is absolutely incredible with this entire series that they do. It's probably one of the strongest YouTube presence in the NFL. The Jets marketing team, top notch. Really like it. But this focused mainly on the bringing in of Carl Lawson and CJ Mosley. Those were kind of the two highlighted players, aside from quick recaps of what happened in the offseason. We really got to go into these guys' lives. And these are two players on the defensive side that I'm most intrigued to see. Carl Lawson is easily my favorite player that we brought in on the defensive side of the ball. We have needed a pass rusher in the worst way, and him being a 4-3 defensive end where he can just pin his ears back and go after the pass rusher or go after the quarterback is incredible. The guy just seems to have one of the fastest first steps, and I think Michael Nania posted it. It was something insane, the amount of times he beat the guy he was opposing, tackle-wise. I don't know the stat offhand, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I think he's going to, if you had to pick someone to break that 10-sack threshold at some point, it's going to be Carl Lawson, I think. But with him and Quinnen Williams, you'd think this 4-3 defense with just those two guys, you plug in any other two guys across that line, and it's a stud defensive line. So I'm really looking forward to this. But Carl Lawson in One Jets Drive, you kind of go into just how crazy he was from a workout standpoint. And look, NFL, all guys are workout warriors. But this guy, they were talking about him being the kid in, I think it was high school, where he didn't have any clothes and his dad made him go to this training camp and he didn't have any clean clothes, so he wore sweatpants in a 110-degree day, and he wound up getting called Sweatpants, winds up becoming a 5-star recruit, and they're like, oh man, that's Sweatpants, watch out for him. yeah, no, really interesting stuff learning about his background. The guy's really into anime, which for some reason, like, I associate anime with, like, not stud athletes, which is kind of a mistake to do. But guy really likes Dragon Ball Z, which hit home to me because I really liked that growing up as a kid, and I always wanted to, like, supercharge myself, have the hair go different colors, and beat up my brother. And that was kind of like, what we tried to do. But it's really cool. He kind of focused on all that and how it's all fighting and anger and, like, I'm going to beat you and growth of character. And I think you can tell he's a really grounded individual, that he likes that character development and how can you get better each and every day. And you can see why Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas really brought him in. Then we go and focus on CJ Mosley, which I will admit I was not super excited about CJ Mosley this year, and I've been very critical of him over the course of the last year because of him opting out. Now, hindsight, looking at Adam Gase and everything that's going on, we heard the passion wasn't quite there, the fire to play from CJ Mosley was in question, and in this episode of One Jets Drive, you got to understand, and Mosley even said himself that he needed to find that desire to come out and play and get better and work harder. And I think you kind of saw that Adam Gase sucked that life out of him. He just didn't have that fire. And having someone like Robert Saleh come in that gets people fired up, you get excited with the new quarterback, the weapons that are being brought in, all this help, it really gets you thinking about CJ Mosley and thinking about just how good this guy was. Realize his basically only game with the Jets was that week 1 game against the Bills, where he had arguably his best game as a professional athlete, like, on display. And we saw what we signed up for. And then it was gone for 2 years. So this guy is, I think it's 20 pounds lighter. Maybe it's not 20 pounds lighter, but he's lighter than he's ever played in the NFL. So that way he can run around and cover guys. And the way he looked at the green and white scrimmage and the way that I'm watching him in training camp is nothing short of awesome. The guy is fast, the guy looks hungry, and he doesn't look like he missed a beat. This doesn't feel like the Le'Veon Bell kind of, take a year off. I mean, the guy worked out like crazy, but he felt slower with Adam Gase. Maybe that's just how Adam Gase used him, but based on how he's not really playing much since Adam Gase, I would think that's probably a slightly different story. Now, again, 2 years off from football is kind of what we're talking about with Mosley here. So I am still concerned, but I am way more optimistic after watching One Jets Drive with Mosley and seeing him in person at the green and white scrimmage than I was this time a month ago, we'll say. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I apologize. There's not going to be a crazy ton of editing here because I am just not feeling 100% yet. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. Chris and I are going to be going live at 9 p.m. tomorrow night here on my channel. And then we'll probably do something on his channel next week. So make sure you sub up him so that way you can give me some support on a Giants channel. But guys, let me know your thoughts of everything I talked about down below in the comments. And as always, go Jets.